Are you ready to get out of some destructive cycles in your life? Good. It's time to interrupt those cycles and get to work. Let's go. Welcome to the Purpose Project podcast. I'm Brandon Goff. I get to be your host, and I'm also honored to be the lead pastor at Radiate Church in Columbia, South Carolina. We're going to continue a series of talks today called Cycle Breaker. The idea is this: to discuss the truths of cycles that we all walk through every single day and what it looks like to take intentional care toward breaking destructive cycles and help us walk closer to the purposes that God has for us in our profession, our spiritual lives, our marriages, and our families. It's a new year. It's January 2026, and it's time to stop making excuses. I said in the last episode, I said it like this: it's time to stop whining about the results and the outcomes and start winning with our habits. It's time to stop making excuses for what we don't like, for the things that we want to change, and start moving toward all that God has for us in our lives. Today, here's my hope: no more excuses. It's time to get out of the cycle of destruction. So we've been talking about this idea that we all go through this cycle in life in every area of our life. It's this: everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. Now, while we can't determine the thoughts that pop up, we can determine how long they stay there. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But everything starts with a thought, and thoughts that linger lead to actions, external expressions of our life. So the thoughts lead to actions. It's if I'm negative all the time, I treat people with not much grace and not much patience. If I'm positive, I have more grace, more patience. Those actions then lead to habits, daily, automatic, consistent rhythms and habits in my life. And those habits create and develop outcomes. And then those outcomes create more thoughts, positive or negative, right? And so we've talked about what that looks like and what it means. And here's the truth about this cycle in life: is it's like a merry-go-round. We get on it, this thing, our thoughts, our actions, our habits begin spinning this cycle of life. And the outcome is spinning so fast that it can get destructive. And when we're on a destructive cycle and we want to get off, the danger is if we jump off and it's moving too fast, we could get hurt. There could be an injury, something like that. So we resort back to when we were kids and we were on this merry-go-round and all this stuff was happening. It was happening so fast. What we would do is we'd hold on tight and sit there until it slowed down on its own. The difference between a child's merry-go-round and life is life doesn't slow down or stop until you make it slow down. It's not going to automatically slow down for you. In fact, it'll keep getting faster and faster. You got responsibilities of family and personal and spiritual and work and finances and you name it. It's all out there. Life spins faster. So how do we stop the spinning? How do we create a moment to jump off of the spin cycle? You have to interrupt the spinning. You have to interrupt it. So I want to talk today about intentional interruptions. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we're going to get thrown off because it's spinning too fast. We're going to get sick, and then we can't get off in time. We could get hurt. So intentional interruptions, we're going to talk about we can stop the damaging cycles in our lives and take 2026 by storm and begin to accomplish and move closer to the purposes that God has placed in our lives. Now, some of us on this podcast today, you just need some permission. You've gotten some perspective now, and now you need some permission. Permission to make a difference. Here's your permission. Create intentional interruptions. Stop accepting mundane. Stop accepting the results that God does not have for you. Create intentional interruptions. Today, here's your permission. Go interrupt the spin cycle of destruction in your life. Stop waiting on it to happen. Stop hoping life slows down. Make what you know is right. Make that happen. In fact, I'll say it like this. We have this phrase at my house: we do hard things. Go do hard things. It's going to be hard to stop the spin cycle. It's going to be hard to change thoughts, to correct actions, to develop new habits, and to walk in new outcomes. It's going to be hard, but it's worth it. Go get after it. Go make it happen. In fact, Isaiah chapter 55, verse 7 says this. It says, "Let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts. and let him return to the Lord, and we will have compassion on him, and to our God, and for he will have abundant pardon. I love the fact that it says, forsake, let the wicked forsake his way. I love that word forsake. Here's what it means: to renounce or turn away from something entirely. I'm going to put it very bluntly today. Some of you need to forsake the destructive cycles that you've excused in your life. It's time. It's a new year. It's a new season. It's a new day. It's time to forsake destructive thoughts, destructive actions, destructive habits. Forsake excusing destructive outcomes and start changing something. Turn away from them. And sometimes, let me be honest, it's not even the massively big, sinful, egregious things that I'm even talking about. Sometimes it's the small, incremental, unproductive, lazy things that we just walk in because it's comfortable, and now we're at an outcome we don't like. Forsake them. Forsake what's not taking you to the purpose God has for you. Forsake what's taking you further away from it. Walk away from those things and walk in the complete opposite direction. Change it. Do something different. Here's what I know about you. What we won't forsake, we will tolerate. And what we tolerate, we end up operating in. Here's what I mean. If I won't forsake the things that are destructive in my life, I'm tolerating them. I'm okay with it. It's fine. It's too hard to make the difference. I'm just going to deal with it. And what we tolerate, we end up operating in. I've said it like this before, and you've probably heard other leaders say it this way too. I'm sure it's not original with me. What we permit, we promote. What we permit, we promote. What are you permitting in your life? What are you tolerating in your life that you know is not productive? You know it's not putting you where you need to go. And so you're promoting it. You're just saying, oh, that's good, it's fine. It's time to walk away from those things. It's time to stop tolerating what is short-circuiting your walk with God, your walk with your family, what's short-circuiting your dreams and your outcomes. For some of us, intentional interruptions is actually difficult. It's next to impossible for many of us, because remaining is easier and more comfortable. It's easier and more comfortable to just stay stuck, to stay on the merry-go-round and hope that somebody cares enough to stop the spin cycle, hope that it slows down, hope it gets better on its own. I'm here to tell you something. It's not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. Staying on the cycle of negativity is more comfortable, so I'll stay there. Staying on the cycle of anger is more comfortable. I'll just stay there. It's fine. Remaining selfish and self-absorbed is easier than changing and learning new ways. I'll just stay right there. And what's happened is we've built houses in places that were meant for tents. Here's what I mean. The season that you went through that caused those thoughts and those actions in your life, the cycle you endured was never meant for a permanent structure. It was only meant for a short time. Yet, you've stayed in that cycle as a residential property when it was meant to teach you a lesson for a season, not to keep you stuck for a lifetime. It's time to take a page out of the Bible, to build an altar in that moment, remember where you've been and what God's done, and move forward. Move forward to the purposes of God. So here's what intentional interruptions look like in the 4 sections of our cycle. Thoughts. Intentional interruptions with our thoughts. When negative or damaging thoughts pop up, capture them and remove them immediately. Immediately. When damaging or negative thoughts pop up, get rid of them. Ruminating on them, ruminating on thoughts, rumination is what they call it, is a form of anxiety. It's what we do when we overthink. We spend hours, we spend days, sometimes weeks, thinking on something over and over and over again. It consumes our lives. It sucks the joy, the peace, the happiness, the chase of God. It sucks all that out of our lives. Why? I'm ruminating on what should have been, what could have been, what should I have said? Why are they mad at me? Why do they feel this way? Fear lives in rumination. People-pleasing lives in rumination. Stagnation lives in rumination. Let me tell you what, let me give you the greatest example of rumination. Cows are ruminants. Cows are ruminants. Here's what that means. They eat their food, okay? They eat the grass from the pasture they're in. They swallow their food, and then they regurgitate their food, and then they eat it again. Over and over and over. They're eating the same thing a lot of times. They're eating it, swallowing it, throwing it up, eating it, swallowing it, throwing it up. Here's part of the problem with that. It loses its nutrients over time. Now, many of us are doing the exact same thing with our thoughts. We're allowing them to linger, to stay there. We think on it, we eat on it, we get the nutrients out of it, we throw it up, we eat it again, and it's over and over. And the problem is over time, it sucks life from us because it's taking nutrients, not adding anything. You're not getting anything from it anymore. And so we're ruminating. So instead of ruminating on the thoughts and the destructive thoughts, let me tell you how to intentionally interrupt it. Ask yourself this: why am I thinking on this so much? Why does it even matter? And what do I need to learn from it? If the answer is, I don't know, it doesn't matter, and I'm not learning anything from it, get rid of the thought. Stop eating thoughts that you've already processed. Stop ruminating. Get rid of them. Replace them with scripture. Replace them with truth. Replace them with something life-giving. There's thoughts. Intentionally interrupting actions. What are you doing that is contrary to who you are? If you're a man and woman or a woman of integrity, care, and concern, are your actions and lifestyles indicative of that? Is the way that you live your life indicative of that? As we talked about last week, inventory your actions. I bet they line up with your most consistent thoughts, because thoughts always lead to actions. The only way to change something is to do the opposite. So here's what I mean. You have to stop it and do the opposite. I like illustrations, as you know, on this podcast. If you're in a kayak and you're turning in one direction, you're going to the right and you're making circles. Do you know how you change that? You paddle the opposite direction. You paddle in a way that turns the kayak the other way. For some of you, your life is going in a way and you're going, I don't like the direction of this. Okay, stop that action and do the opposite. I don't like how impatient I am. Okay, then in the middle of a moment where you feel impatience, breathe, walk away, collect your thoughts, and project patience. It's easier said than done. Trust me, I understand that. But it's the only way to change it. You have to stop it and do the complete opposite. Okay? It's an intentional interruption to look at your spouse, to look at your kids, to look at your coworker and go, hold on, give me a minute. Let me collect my thoughts and then come back with a thought instead of a reaction. Intentionally interrupting habits, because thoughts go to actions. Actions lead to habits. How do we intentionally interrupt our habits? Okay? Here's what we have to do. Develop new habits. Well, that's super easy. I knew that. Great. So did I. But it's hard to do, right? Develop new habits. In fact, I'd say it like this. Create habits that make you uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Create habits that change things. There's a theory out there that they call habit stacking. Here's what habit stacking is. It's taking constructive, productive habits and do them on top of one another. So here's an idea. Listen to the Bible or an audiobook while you're working out. Or listen to worship music while you're brushing your teeth. Those are two habits. I want to create a habit of getting in the Word of God, or I want to create a habit of reading more, but I need to also create a habit of getting healthy. So I'm going to listen to the Bible or I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I'm getting healthy. I'm doing two productive habits at the same time. So now I'm being double productive and I'm creating more habits that are leading to the outcome that I'm looking for. The result is you're building the beneficial habits and accomplishing more at a faster pace. Stop blaming your outcomes. It's your habits' fault. Fix the habits. Develop new habits. Here's a thought for you, another practicality. Put your habits on your calendar and plan everything else around them. Okay? So put your habits on your calendar. If you want to get better professionally, create habits that allow you to get to read books and to do things that get better professionally. Don't plan around your habits. Or don't plan your habits around everything else. Plan everything else around your habits. So sit down this week, look at your habits, look at your rhythms, maybe even write them down and go, are they good or are they bad? Are they leading to the outcome that God's called me to? And how do I make sure that they are a consistent, beneficial part of my life? So thoughts lead to action, actions lead to habits, habits develop outcomes. So how do I develop outcomes? I fix the other three, right? Right, but I want to say this, work backwards. Get some vision for your life. Get some vision for your marriage, for your kids, for your profession, for yourself. Get some vision. What do you actually want to accomplish in 2026 and why? If you can't give yourself a worthwhile why, you won't put in the worthwhile effort. What are you trying to accomplish? Why? Vision gives you internal motivation to move from just being motivated to now being disciplined, to creating the habits that do something in your life. Where do you want to end up? What do you want to do? Where do you want to end up financially? What do you want to do professionally, personally, spiritually, marriage, relationally? Think of it as budgeting your life to accomplish the main goal, the main vision of your life. So set your vision and then work backwards. Here's the habits I need. Here's the actions that'll take. Here's the thoughts I have to develop in those things. I want all of us to finish with our faith and our family. Therefore, we need to have that in mind first. I'm going to finish with faith and I'm going to finish with family and build everything else around that. Regardless of what your life, your outcomes look like now, there's some intentional interruptions that you're going to have to power through and do the hard things to make them happen. No one else, hear me, nobody else is responsible for it but you. Nobody. You're the only one responsible for it. But you can do it and you can make it happen. Pray about it. God, I'm inviting you into this process. Help me develop some intentional interruptions in my thoughts, my actions, my habits, and my outcomes so that I can go closer to what you have for me. Help me push through the hard moments and accomplish everything you have for me, God. You can do more. Hear me. I need you to hear me say this. You can do more than you think you can. Now is not the time to quit this journey. Now is not the time to get frustrated and say, I can't do that. Now is the time. You're just getting started. Now's the time to put in the work. Because I need you to remember this. We say this every week. You matter. You matter to me. You matter to God. You matter to those that you're in relationship with in your life. You have purpose that was placed there by God. It wasn't on accident. It was on purpose, for a purpose. And you're going to help change the world. You're a big part of that. So it's time to get after it. It's time to start putting some intentional interruptions into our life to stop the cycles of destruction and start walking toward the purpose God has for us. Now, I'll see you next week as we finish this series of talks by discussing the power of being surrounded by people that push you forward and you push forward. Now, let's get after it this week. I'll see you next week.